Terra Invicta, what can I say? I separated out all the Rongomeniads and Erendite forward laser battery ships into a separate fleet, and then spent a very short amount of time in canon, but a fairly long amount of time in real life, using those to laser lance every alien life form from orbit. There were over 200 of them. They were in almost every country and region of the entire world. Also, in the process, we discovered 4 different alien facilities, which rather than risk a counselor who we were busy doing other things with, we just blew them up from orbit. It was great. We unlocked Marines and used Marines to capture a station from the Protectorate in orbit, and then I ran out of mission control, so couldn't really keep doing that anymore without risking riots among my fleets. We rebuilt on Mars and Mercury. We're starting to make our way towards Tier 3 ring cores and colony habitats, the highest level research to make even bigger bases, and to start blunting the alien attack on our orbitals. So we clearly have a massive fleet in the Earth Defense Fleet now. It's actually too big, I think, and not highly high-tech enough. It's in a weird place. It's only really capable of defending whatever station it's currently parked at. It's not fast enough to chase aliens or respond to emergencies. But when those 2 carriers, I think that during the last recorded episode, we caught 2 alien landing carriers headed towards Earth. Yeah, we fucking smacked the shit out of them. They died instantly. However, old man Espionage died of old age, so he's been replaced. Let's take a look at maybe some of the new things. The new counselor, Druva Semiksha. She has replaced our espionage counselor to become a new, better espionage counselor. She's not better, but she is half his age and is alive, which really speaks a lot to her credibility as someone who will carry out assassinations, because it's very difficult to assassinate while dead, I've heard. Nobody else has really changed up that much. European Union is absolutely massive. We were really having trouble moving the Unity, and I was spending way too much on Unity, so now we're just going to try to drop our inequality to very low or lower, because that's one of the big things. You can see minus 6.2 on the base value. It's right in the middle. So you might have to take a minute. You might have to pause to see it, but yeah, inequality is the big one. We're also raising our knowledge up, and we have rivaled India and China because they are near peer rivals in order to help raise our cohesion. We want to get our cohesion back closer to 5 as a democracy. And yeah, I'm not really big on rivaling people because it means that you're one step away from total war with them, but we had to do it. Almost at 50 trillion GDP though. It's pretty good. I wish I could report that we've made progress on getting into Canada, South Africa, and the Republic of the Southern Cross. We've basically been completely bounced out of the Republic of the Southern Cross. Aliens land there constantly and are constantly mind controlling the population. The people who do live there, the Protectorate, have clearly gotten popular support to an insane level. They bounce this out constantly. I think that they consider the Republic of the Southern Cross their most important piece of territory ever since they lost Mexico. We have captured a little bit more of America without having to chase down alien ground agents all the time or assassinate people. All that stuff is over. You know, we've kind of won that war at this point. So now we are consistently doing missions where we are just running like 10 to 20% crackdowns on the points and following that crackdown mission up with a purge. Sure, it fails almost all the time, but when it succeeds, we go through the roof. However, America has all kinds of problems. The welfare is completely out of control. Inequality is high. Country's completely fragmented. It's constantly fighting itself. America needs stability, and it needs to do that by completely submitting to the resistance and getting rid of everybody else, is what I have to say. Now, we finally unlocked adamantine armor, which allowed us to create new versions of ships we already know that are significantly lighter. The adamantine removed a ton of weight, and in removing the weight, it meant it needed less fuel, which removed even more weight. So now these ships are very streamlined versions of themselves, and we have, as a result, increased the armor rating of even the medium level ships. The Joy X3s are even faster than they were when they were Joy X2s and 1s. They're almost twice as fast, but they have twice as much armor. Absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. We started putting ECM Mark IIIs on all of the ships, and we were in a Congo line of upgrading all of our ships, but unfortunately that's going to take an enormous amount of time. You can see we have plenty of Erendites, but we have some Erendite 2s, Joy X2, we have some, we should have Rungomeniad 2s somewhere in here, Einhard 2s, Rungomeniad 2s, Einhard 4, so that we had an Einhard 3, and then Adamantine came out, and so we made them 4s. These are actually one of the biggest upgrades because they went from the regular Artemis missiles are now at Athenas, which are the nuclear-driven torpedoes. So they are slower to accelerate, but reach a higher top speed. The theory being, of course, that they should break through the final point defense of the target, right? They're going to be less good at responding to and destroying small ships that are trying to sneak past us because they won't be able to keep up with that maneuvering. But that's what our Erendites are for. That's what our Rongomeniads are for. Those laser boats are meant to turn sideways, blast those flankers, and then turn back to face the front. This new fleet strategy is to use Einhard 4s to overwhelm the basic point defense of some of the battleships. Just get the missiles and torpedoes as close as possible so that they actually hit and explode. And I guess we should take a look at the new flagship class. I believe it is being cooked 161 days still. It's going to be a long time. The shipyard could get blown up here in a couple seconds, so it won't matter. 80 armor on the front, 10 armor on the side. That means it should be able to ignore glancing hits from most flankers. Front-mounted heavy siege coil, no surprise. And then 2 green arc lasers that we're going to set into combat mode. Heavy water heatsink in order to absorb. But interestingly enough, a repair bay. That repair bay will help speed up repairs and will in fact allow repairs to be made to different modules even if you don't have a shipyard. So if the dock that they are at gets blown up, they can still keep the entire fleet at really minimum levels. But the pièce de la résistance of this is the flag bridge. Reduces the mission control cost for its fleet by 20%. We absolutely need to get a flag dreadnought into our main fleet to reduce its costs, because our mission control costs are starting to skyrocket. We are re-entering a period where research is king. Now, previously, we've had research as high as like 180, 190, but we lost that when we lost the lunar moon colonies with research campuses on it. We are now rebuilding those campuses, and we're also building additional campuses in middle and high Earth orbit. We're also going to take a look at seizing more of the orbitals directly around the Earth so that we can take them from enemy factions, specifically Protectorate and Servants, but at some point we're probably just going to take them from everybody and putting up various bonuses. We now have a ops center in space. It's just a bunch of marine barracks floating around in space. Let's see here. It's called Earth Marine Ops. And you can see that it generates, where is it? 36, so it basically doubles our operations. Well, it gives us an extra third operations. So it's been increasing the amount of ops that we can do. When we have to get back to assassinating tons of people, we're really going to like having this big buffer of ops, is all I have to say. We've had to lay off the assassinations, of course, because our espionage counselor passed of old age. But we'll be back one day. We'll be back, and with a fury. An enormous fleet has arrived in Earth orbit. Combat is imminent. That's why I've started the recording again. We outnumber the enemy slightly. This is way closer than it needs to be. The righteous punishment has returned. These battleships have typically destroyed us. They have been very bad. They intercept everything. They're covered in lasers. And the Titan that we bloody nosed before is also back, the Divine Concord. Lot of escort ships, not of the medium, of the medium class, only a few of the smaller ships. So we're gonna have to square up. We can summon exo fighters. These are like small surface to Earth's interface atmosphere craft. Because we're fighting in the atmosphere's lowest levels, we can actually summon ground-based space fighters. I don't think we want to do that though. Let's kick it. We're going for high wall. We'll go for Great Wall. We want everybody to be, let's see here. Most heavily armored ships, we want them in the center forward. All right, I think that's good enough. We'll have them moving at a good speed towards each other. We have 4 reserve ships that will show up. They are monitors, so they're going to be Einhars, maybe Einhar 4s. We are going to have the Einhars Magda. Oh no, what is this formation? Did they just give up, I guess? This is such a weird choice. All right. So the good part about them doing this formation is that as we fire our torpedoes, the ones that miss or hit and overkill will sail into the ones behind them. That's good, I guess. Aliens must be extremely confident, or their AI is just absolutely shot. I can't think of a reason why this would ever be a good strategy. Now, I assume that as they glide into range, the alien ships will all select speed to operate at. You know, ships we've considered flankers will suddenly accelerate and go for weird side angles and stuff like that. We're gonna have to keep a track on all those crazy choices that they're gonna make. Because we're so close to a repair facility, I am going to select to go full combat rather than holding anything back for reserve. I want this guy to concentrate all of his torpedoes on the righteous punishment. Alright, and now all big ships need to move to the forefront. Even slightly. And of course we want them a little bit closer to each other. We want them all to start clustering up so that their point defenses will cover each other. We gotta get a nice fusion engine out here at some point. All right, here we go. I think we're going to need to set a number of these ships into a formation that does lock to target. And a lot of explosions, which is generally what you want. We got a little guy here trying to sneak underneath formation. Prize is completely knocked out. Unfortunate. How we doing here, boys? Let's get the Eternal Storm. And then it looks like someone is trying to slip underneath the ship formation. Make sure to get them. And a whole bunch of ships are coming in from the top now. This guy looks like he's crazy. Alright, here comes the main missile barrage towards the Righteous Punishment. It's not doing shit. Oh, some of the siege coils are getting through. Nope, not even close. We're starting to take hits all over the place. Have we finally dealt a blow to the Righteous Punishment? Seems like it. We're taking losses all over the place, but we're making it happen. Is that the Titan? We're not really ready to face it yet. We don't really have much of a choice, unfortunately. These flankers are killing us. The ship doesn't even have weapons. It's basically dead in the water. We're also lost the ocean, and we're losing most of our, regular fleet complement. Unfortunately, this is over, and I would say we lost pretty badly. Okay, a bunch of Einhard 2s have showed up. Yeah, those torpedoes are never gonna make it. I think there's a fair shot we might have won that on auto-resolve. When I forced all ships to stop targeting the outside flankers... God, we didn't even kill that many of the outside flankers. Let's see the alternate history version that we're probably going to accept alt history. This doesn't look particularly good either. We didn't kill anybody in this timeline. Never mind, we're going back to the original. Which, to be clear, was not a good outcome. Well, we could try to refight it. How about that? In the words of XQC during the Rainbow Road heist, here we go. I'm gonna leave the hull-mounted lasers on Guardian mode to help relieve some of the incoming damage. Although, to be honest, almost all the incoming damage was hitting in the sides. Those flankers absolutely tearing up the entire formation. We need to be a lot sharper on eliminating them. This is going to be a long, boring combat, I think. Because I am going to start matching all of the flanking Rongomeniads to square up against the enemy. Specific enemies. I guess just buckle in. Buckle in, brother. Gonna be here a while. We also need to make sure that the ocean is unloading all of its shit on the Righteous Punishment. We want to keep Righteous Punishment's point defense occupied and not covering its precious little Titan. that squared up. Pull in all those radiators real quick. Torpedo waves are about to start. There we go. Those torpedoes are getting through anything. We're getting shot to pieces. Basically out of the fight. This guy's engine's disabled. Maybe? I don't know, it doesn't look like it's hurt. Ground dumping is crazy right now. Did the ocean just pop immediately? Yeah. It's toast. Okay, let's see where we are. We basically can't shoot missiles at the main fleet, which is almost all of our armaments right now are missiles. And put everybody on lock towards target. I think they only got that one ship. Is this a worse outcome? The weird part is I think we definitely tagged several people's engines, so they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destroyed ships. And the Divine Concord is deeply hurt. I guess we need to see what the aliens do with that. Where is it? Because, I mean, they have almost no Delta V either. Oh, they refueled. What happened here? Oh, I think they split off some of the damage ships. Where did the Titan go? Looking for ships that are damaged. Here's the... It is there. Several of these ships have no combat power. The Divine Concord has 11 combat strength. I think we must have destroyed almost all its surface weapons. Yeah, it's also 0.1 milligee. We also tagged probably its... Okay, all of the weapons except for this are Dunzo. Like, you know... Oh, we got all the utility modules, so probably we blew up the battery and, you know, radiator, all that shit. Everything got blown up. Cool, 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 cool. So this fleet is not going to be moving very quick. Alien fleet 461. Alright. This was, mixed. I'd say it was mixed. Very mixed. I have complicated thoughts about this. We now need to rush a new shipbuilding program. The thing is, I was hoping to wait for a new generation of ships so that we could get highly ultra efficient ones. What is going on with this alien fleet? Are they just gonna leave it out here because it can't move very quickly? I think that's what's happened. I think that because the Titan is so damaged, it can't escape very quickly. They've equalized the amount of fuel and Delta V everybody's using, but because I tagged all the engines, including the Titans, maybe it can't even leave Earth's orbit at 0.1 milligees. It may not be able to go anywhere. It may not be able to transfer to an outer Earth orbit. Okay. I mean, look. At some point, the aliens will send some sort of repair fleet down here to some extent, or they'll just break apart the ships that that aren't so heavily damaged. But I think they're gathering around the Titan, right? They would leave all of these ships that are damaged to die, except they won't give up the Titan, I think. I'm mixed on this. It's partially fortuitous, but it could have gone better. Okay, we have a flag dreadnought on its way out. Iron jars are useless. I think we need to just accept that torpedoes have no place on the modern battlefield with the way that the enemy is using its shit. So we're also going to skip ocean class dreadnoughts because those are primarily torpedo boats, and we're going to try busting out more spinal siege, any sort of direct conflict. Put out 2 lancers. These are going to take forever to make. Aerondites, they have been very useful, no doubt about that, but they aren't quite getting what I want done. And then we'll build a bunch of Joyux siege coilers. I don't know. We'll hold it this size of a fleet. This is not a very big fleet here, but we need to not be overcommitted. In fact, we should probably be expanding the fleet at Mars and Mercury. Let's take a look at the Mars and Mercury defense fleets. The Mercury defense fleet is not doing so well. It's a Rongomediad, an Einhard 3, and an Einhard 2. We definitely want them to go into refit. If we can refit, let's see, here we go. Mercury interface, Einhard 4. All right, but this is going to keep that shipyard occupied for 70 days. We won't be able to use those ships in those 70 days. So if a fleet shows up, we will need to cancel those refits. Mars has a bigger fleet. 3 Einhard Herjars, 2 Rongomeniads, and then I think we've got some stuff cooking at Mars. Mars has got an Ocean 2 class dreadnought. Unfortunately, we've just determined that the oceans are terrible, but it's most of the way done refitting, so hard to fault it. It will still provide enough primary firepower, but we don't have any direct shooters out here with Rongomeniads. So at Mars, we're going to want at least 1 siege coiler type ship. Maybe like a Joyux. We don't have time to build Lancers, I think. It's something we can get out fairly fast. All right, and you'll notice our volatiles is way up. We were down to like 10 or 5 a day for a very long time, but now that all the volatiles all across the systems that I have are all level 2 mines, and they have an administrative. We had nodes before, now we have towers, and they increase by a couple of % the amount that you get out. With all of that in effect, we are at 35.7, which is an enormous amount, which means basically we'll put out a new battle cruiser every 12 days, which is great because we currently need to put out a bunch of new battle cruisers because we just lost Earth's entire fleet. And we haven't even talked about yet that the other factions may notice how weak we are in Earth orbit and come smack the shit out of us there. So, all right. What is this? Yeah, it's more ships showing up because we're weak at Earth now. They're launching a bunch of reprisal strikes. 15 August. That is less than the 60 days. We're going to have to cancel some of those refits. so that the ships are actually available for combat. So it's going to be less than 30 days. I think we can cancel this one. We can go from 3 to 4 in 11 days, which is pretty solid. Yeah, we're fighting in every orbit now.
Are still in control.
It's not great. Okay, broadcast outlets are good. They add +1 to the strength of our public campaigns, and they build up 4 additional influence. We haven't really used influence a lot so far, but it has an important function we'll talk about in just a second. The function that it has is direct investment, by the way. Here's how that works. You can actually directly invest in priorities, but you'll notice that almost all of them take influence. Well, we have an enormous amount of money. We have almost no influence. Every 1 point in this is 1 point over here. So we could dump a huge amount into the economy right here and unlock, it looks like 25 more economy points, expanding the GDP. It'll give us 25 times 21.99. So 25 times 22 more per capita. But we're already over the 55,000. Getting more per capita right now isn't that important. But things like lowering inequality, raising unity, raising our education, these are all things we could invest directly in. We could personally buy space defenses, which prevent us from being bombarded, and I believe it also shoots down nuclear missiles. Which is, you know, good. It's a good thing to have, shooting down nuclear missiles. It means it's going to go in some sort of priority order, but almost certainly it'll start at the capital in Paris. And preventing our capital from being bombarded by other AI ground forces using nukes would be great. Be a good start. Although theoretically, rather than bombarding civilian sectors, they're going to try to bombard our militaries. We do have an enormous number of militaries as well. But anyway, we're going to build those broadcast centers. Unfortunately, I left a whole area empty just so that we could build broadcast centers there. These get bigger with each tier, just like most other buildings. But they should be well suited to the job that I want them to do. Another alien assault ship, huh? Hate that. Well, we don't really have a way to contest them in orbit right now, at all. This is a good plan on the aliens' part. They're using their superior resources and technology to completely counter us. Let's see. This is just another huge-ass fleet that's arriving in Earth orbit that we have no way to stop, that has another one of those righteous punishment class battleships. I think we're going to lose Earth orbit. For sure, for sure. No question. This is carrier group. I believe this is carrier group 4 or 5. Let's just say 5, just for naming purposes. We're going to have to take it down. Almost certainly we won't be able to. I think that with the enormous number of armies we have, I mean, we have 20 plus ground armies, and we control about a third of the land surface of the Earth. I think there's a good shot we'll be able to get in there and make it happen. Okay, a single cosmic ray cruiser has arrived. I guess we're gonna leap out and try to shoot it. Oh, it's going after... Gonna blow up all the mission control I have. Interesting plan. It's a good plan. Alright, a Continent 2 Lancer is ready in Mercury orbit. This is that Mercury interface. We need to get the Mercury Defense Fleet back down to Mercury interface. Hook up with it. How are those refits going? 8 days. I don't know that the 3 alien ships that are out there are going to wait 8 days. What is going on out here? Oh, it might have blown... This ship might have blown the, Oh no, this is the dead one that was floating around here from before. Where are these aliens now? What's this guy doing? Oh, he's going home now. What about this guy? Also going home. I don't know, man. In the words of Sakoyama, are you a god? I don't know, man.
Sentiment is increasingly with us.
We are winning their hearts and minds.
All of you must answer together. Vultures, yay or nay? All right, we got the crackdown. We got the crackdown. Okay. 99% effectiveness. Okay, we're sending an Erendite 2 battleship down to Mercury's interface orbit to join the Mercury Defense Fleet. I mean, with an Erendite 2 and a Continent 2, Mercury Defense is like way up in terms of firepower. And the Erendite 2 is certainly capable of dealing with several of those little flanker ships that show up to be a pain in the ass. We're up to plus 41 volatiles, although we are running out of volatiles constantly, because every time the number gets high enough, a new ship enters into the shipyards to be built, because we put a bunch of ships away on credit. Einhar 4 that we put away to get upgraded is back now. The Firebrand. Nice.
The human brain can store the equivalent of 2.5 petabytes of information, or enough to record 3 million hours of TV. But what if we became able to watch those shows at 1,000 times the speed? Then our brains would seem like a mere floppy disk. Chancellor Li Qingjiang, Engineering Humanity.
So they're choosing phased array lasers, which is solid. We probably need to start looking into getting phasers ourselves. I think that, I don't remember whether it's ultraviolet or phaser. One of the two requires exotics, and we don't want to do that. But it's time to start upgrading our laser base. And we got to think about even more point defense, because the aliens are shooting tons of mag rounds. That's really their primary attack strat.
Our associates are now in charge.
Okay, we have even more of America now. We have 4/5 of America. Oh my goodness, another alien assault ship? They're really mad that they haven't been able to get in on this bad boy. Wow, that's an enormous fleet over there. This is Victor 404. I don't know why it's not letting me rename it, but we'll find Victor 404 in this list. Okay. We've got Mercury defense problems. Time to show them what we're made of. They're bombing the Tolkien crater. I refuse to allow the memory of J.R.R. Tolkien to be too much, you know, dissatisfied. Can we beat this fleet? I don't know. Will our torpedo, because we have so many torpedoes involved, will our torpedoes actually do anything, or are they just going to embarrass us again? I need the, I was calling them Athenas, but they are called like Styx and Tartarus. I need the shaped nuclear charge missiles that automatically explode when they get near the target. You only need to fire a couple of those at any given ship. Sure, some will get taken out by point defense, but, you know, the others are just going to absolutely obliterate whatever they're shooting at. Wow, look at this. Who's shitting up my planet with these alien life forms? I mean, you can see that we've removed them from basically everywhere. Planet's much cleaner now. And those life forms aren't terraforming our planet anymore, so that global warming has started to slow down. Okay, let's see here. We want to do a little crackdown on the initiative. We'll follow that up with one of these purges. Now, if the crackdown's successful, the purge will almost certainly succeed, and if the crackdown's not successful, then I got problems.
Securing our control.
Ready.
And we're keeping Druva safe at a place that no one ever goes to just let her slowly build up XP that she needs in order to max out her espionage, so she'll be invisible and capable of taking assassination missions again. So it looks like we need to...
I will tell our story.
Acknowledged. Offering support.
What's this guy doing over here? Okay. We're gonna go for short wall, max speed. We need to ignore the damaged one. He's in orbit and he got pulled in by accident. We don't need to be throwing any shade at him. Because there's so many flankers, it seems like our Erendites are going to be... Is this the problem? I've been setting all my weapons to only fire at primary target? Boy, if that's true, the comment section is going to have obliterated me for being a moron. Yikes. Yeah, boys, pull in those solar sails. Okay. We've got some attention to detail on taking out flankers here. Continental has taken an engine hit, so this motherfucker's useless now. And its siege fucking weapon is completely destroyed. Awesome, 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 awesome. That's the coolest. That's the coolest thing that could happen. Absolutely. Alright, that ship's toast. It's time to start concentrating fire. Everybody get on that Void Sailor. Right here. Okay, now that the Void Sailor is pretty crippled, we're putting it on Flare Star, the other Void Sailor. Oh, the 40mm is starting to come out. That's how you know things are desperately close. Wow, this guy's tanking through it, brother. He's working through his issues. We got him now, though. We're hitting his sides and rear with 40mm. He's toast. He's hanging in there, though, like a champion. I think it's time to do auto-resolve. 2 of those ships have crippled engines. Oh no. Oh no, the game crashed. Oh no. On my victory? On my victory? You dare refuse my bachal? It again. Watch me lose. Watch me lose. Watch me lose. Torpedoes didn't do very much versus those flankers. We're gonna need to keep an eye on the flanking ships, I guess, but we really can't turn our back on the incoming fleet either. You can see that the Lexington is taking hits, but the nose cone is still intact. Okay, okay. We managed to disable Flare Star this time. We're going on Iron Star. Let's absolutely start hitting him with siege coilers. Just have the whole fleet dump on this dude. This is actually going even better than last time. As long as it doesn't crash, we should be alright. Oh yeah, complete overkill. One of the engines got disabled back there, and then I guess we don't really have a chance at catching that Twilight. Oh no, I guess we did have a chance. We not only had a chance, we absolutely crushed it. Okay, Mercury orbit is good. Mercury orbit's great. That fight went well. All right, Mercury is going back to its home base to repair and rearm, refuel, all that junk. And I guess we need to turn the Einhard 2s into 4s?
Securing our control.
Maybe. Maybe I just leave the 2 where it's at.
Lending my expertise.
There is something to be said, because they keep sending small ships into orbit, and the 2s have that high acceleration in order to catch the smaller ships. Our lasers weren't really doing that much, I'll be honest. Their entire purpose is to catch those small ships, and they were not really making that happen. Alright, the new research centers are going in. What's happening here? Mars Transit Station 2. So this is one of the Mars Extreme Orbit areas. We probably have something we're cooking up here that we should cancel before they blow it up. Mars Transit 2 is building a Joy X. Cancel that. This ocean is probably also going to get blown up. How's the Mars fleet? Are they in a good enough shape to... We don't have a Mars fleet. Oh, no, we do. Hold on. They're okay. But if I move them away from their dock, the dock might get blown up. I mean, I've played this game before. I'd rather lose the extreme transit stations. That's what they're there for. They're literally baits. Okay. So we're also going to lose the backup transit station there. So it's time to cancel the Ocean Dreadnought, which is really unfortunate. We were kind of really banking on that bad boy. I suppose it's fine. We figured out the oceans are functionally not very good.
The people will come to our side.
Okay, a big-ass alien fleet has arrived in orbit of Earth.
They slipped away from us.
Our enemies are still in control.
That looks like a big ship. It's a frickin' battleship. That's why it looks like a big ship. Okay, well, I guess that battleship combat will be the last little bit we do on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Cracking down.
Standing by for orders. Terminating the opposition.
I'm here.
This sucks. Sorry, I'm malding. Our strategic goals right now are to get more research so we can achieve parity with the aliens, and it's not going well. I'm expecting that this big alien fleet that's arrived in orbit is about to blow up all those nice research campuses, which haven't even finished, all across Earth systems. I mean, losing control of Earth's orbital domains is not great, but keeping all of those ships down here, down in Earth's gravity, defending that Titan, are an excellent opportunity. I wonder if the reason that they are all defending it so greatly is because their species, as we know from some of the lore codex updates,
Restoring order.
has such a small
Standing by.
Where to?
small numbers, right? And
I'll speak with them.
Titans really represent
Where
a
to?
huge portion of their population.
Restoring order.
Ready.
Yeah, restore order. That's what we need here.
I will try to sway the public.
Your orders? Offering support.
Okay. Oh, he's trying to run. We're gonna go after him. Is he going somewhere? Doesn't look like it. It says he is, but it doesn't look like it. He's going home. Afraid, they're afraid. This is of what heroes are made. Would you like to know more? In case you've never heard that song, I think it's the recap of the entire movie of Starship Troopers by a band called the Holy Light of Demons or something like that. It is incredible. It is so good.
I believe they'll stay loyal to the cause.
Aliens go home.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Things are cooling off.
Targets got away.
Sure. That's where we're gonna take our break, friends. We did plenty of battles. Now I'm thinking I could have done a lot better on that big space battle if I had set all of the guns to not just fire on the primary target, but any target that they can see if the primary target isn't available. But yeah, I mean, the outcome of having a partially alive Titan has very strangely worked out in our favor. Okay, this is a surveillance fleet. We're gonna need to take them on sooner rather than later. We've been doing so good at keeping alien surveillance out of the area. What, Victor 427? Did I miss it somewhere on here? No. This is Survey 7. We need to launch a daring, bold attack. Oh, the Titan fleet is leaving. They aren't getting home for another year. They've left orbit. Boy, those ships can get to and from here in like a month or two. So the fact that they're taking an entire year to transit back is not good for them. For sure, for sure. Love that. Love that for them. What do I even call this episode? Can I learn from my real-time combat mistakes?